Hello, everybody. Just coming on for a quick discussion here. I just wanted to talk briefly about just the shootings that happened over the weekend, last weekend. Actually, this weekend. It was the 3rd. Yeah, so it was this past weekend about all those shootings in Chicago, the gang violence in Chicago. And, if anybody has heard Peep from Black Lives Matter, please leave it in my comment section because I have been looking for the Black Matter Lives Matter protests. I've been looking for the outrage. I've been looking for all these hoteps talking about the black man suffering this and the black man suffering that. I've been looking for all kinds of anything from the people who are usually very vocal when white people do something to black men. But here we have 52 shot. 52 people got shot over one weekend. 10 of them killed. Okay? 52 people got shot, 10 people got killed, and not a peep out of Black Lives Matter. Not a peep out of these hopeteps who are so quick to come down when a white person or a white cop shoots a black male. I'm failing to understand how Black Lives Matter when the majority of people who are killing black people are black people. But we only get outraged when white people kill our people or Chinese people do something to our people, but it's okay for us to murder each other like this? So, according to reports from CBS News, 52 people were shot and 10 people were killed in what police called a despicable spate of violence over the weekend in Chicago. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said the latest deadly weekend in the city shows the challenges we face are complex and profound. I'd say, yeah. I know I can speak for everyone at CPD when I say we take these shootings seriously, as well you should. And there's a heightened sense of urgency and care when it comes to gun violence in the city, Johnson said during the Monday press conference. Now, peep these statistics here. Okay, so gun violence from, and this is just the city of Chicago. Gun violence in 2016 took 777 people in Chicago. Okay, in 2018, 561 black males, or black people, because I know there's a lot of stray bullets going on around here, but 561 black people were killed from gun violence in Chicago. Compare that to the statistics of police shootings of the same gang-infested communities in Chicago. Okay, so from 2010 to 2015, Chicago police officers killed 92 people. 92 people from 2010 to 2015. Compare that to 777 in 2016 black-on-black violence alone. But there we have a whole movement with Black Lives Matter when police shoot a black male. But yet, black males are killing each other and their people and their women and their children. They're being killed wholesale. So tell me, where's the outrage? Where are the hoteps talking about we can't have this anymore? Where's Black Lives Matter? Getting in there and making sure the gangs aren't doing anything. We have to rely on the police to take care of these gangs. And when the police is doing their job, not all of them are on the up and up. But for the most part, they're doing their job, keeping people safe. The hypocrisy has always been our problem as black folks. We're just full of hypocrisy. There's this big glaring thing staring us in the face, but we rather blame things on people outside. So when the few black males get killed by police, we make a big hoopla about it. But every single day in the black community, there are black youths being killed. They're being killed by each other. Black women are being killed by black men. Wholesale. Nobody's making a big hoopla about that. Can I say that again? Black women are being killed by black men. Wholesale. And there's not a big hoopla about that. Something wrong with this picture. Now, I've never been a go along to get along type person. Never been a person to be like, oh, everybody else is doing it, I better do it too. I've been a person to look at something, and if it don't look right, it don't smell right, it ain't right. So there's something fishy about this Black Lives Matter foolery when, the biggest killer of black people is not the police. So how can you tell me Black Lives Matter, and how can these hotep pro-black people say they love black people when they ain't doing crap about the real issues that are killing our people? Now, where are these funky men sitting online typing on their computer with their funky unshaven behinds? And the youth is out there without proper leadership, killing each other. This is their image going across the globe as youth, as young, violent people. But they don't care. All they can do is blame the black woman. That's what you get for raising them by yourself. You all think you can handle this. You all think you can handle that. We are the only group of women that we are expected to raise children on our own. And we continue to repeat the cycle. Even though we know, that although there are some good black men who do what they're supposed to do, who handle their business, who take care of their kids, and even if they're not with the children's mother, they make sure they are present in their children's lives, financially and physically. They're there because they produce that life and they are responsible for it, and they have that self-awareness. But a majority of them do not, and this is why our community is like this. We want to blame external factors. Oh, the white man did this to us. The white man put us in this position. The white man, oh, slavery. Oh, slavery. Slavery this, slavery that. Instead of taking responsibility for ourselves. Now, I'm a firm believer that black women need to just start, the young black women need to just start, buckle, tighten up. Tighten up. You know, tighten up. In terms of, if a man is not going to commit to you, then you don't need to be bringing him and reproducing him into this world. Tighten up. Because it's hard to raise a child on your own. And I know stuff happens even after you make that commitment of that marriage, and make sure that you are secure and safe and feel safe enough to produce the type of children that are going to be productive members of society. But it starts with you, the black female. It starts with you, even before you make the choice to bring children in to this world. It starts with you. You make that choice. You make the choice to become a single mother. You don't have to sleep with anybody. You could be celibate until you find a husband. But we get pressured into situations where we feel we have to please this man. He sweet talks you. I know how they work. They know how they work. That's how they get what they get, because they know how they work. They sweet talk you. They tell you what you want to hear. They tell the same thing to 10 different women. And you be thinking you're the only one. But until that ring hits that finger and you walk down the aisle and that marriage certificate is signed and he sets you up in a way that you know that you and your children will be taken care of, then you need to leave this person alone. And if he cannot afford that, then he is not ready to enter your womb. You have to start thinking about the life that you have to live, the children that may come out of a sexual union, how you're going to take care of those children, how you're going to protect those children. So you have to start thinking years in advance. You can't just think about, oh, I'm hooking up with Tyrone on Saturday, and not think about what happens after the hookup. What happens if you hook up and something happens and, a child comes? Tyrone just, who was just looking for something to bust his nut that night. So he don't care about no child. So we got to start thinking ahead. So we can start reversing some of this stuff, because it's the way I see our black males and our black youth is going. I don't know how we can reverse this if we don't start within this next generation. It didn't take one generation to get us here. Because even in the 60s and 70s we weren't like this. We had morals and values and so forth. But I don't know if it's art imitating life or life imitating art, but everything you hear in the music these days, it's, nothing but sexual. When you go on a date with somebody nowadays, it's expected that you're going to sleep with them. So you have to start setting expectations. Like, you don't sleep with people. You don't need to be sleeping with people. It's dangerous out there. And unless you got your tubes tied, you can have unwanted children, or unless you're going to plan on, aborting the fetus. But don't mess up your life like that. Most of these men don't care, and when they do care, they will show you by putting a ring on your finger and making sure that whatever they do, that you and whatever is produced out of your union is taken care of. If they're not, making such plans, and you're not seeing such plans, and there's no ring on your finger, leave this man alone. Leave this man alone. Because I am sick and the cycle just keeps repeating. And they're getting younger and younger. Excuse me. And women, we're not protecting our children. So the same predators that preyed on you is now preying on your little baby girls. And the cycle keeps repeating. Because we're not protecting our children. And we're not being smart about who we bed with, who we procreate with. The cycle's got to change. It's got to start with the black woman, because the black man's not going to do it. He's too busy blaming everybody but himself. He's too busy blaming the white man, you, the black woman. Hey, he even blamed the kids for being sexual, for him sexual and molesting the kids. He blamed the kids, and then he blamed the white man for putting him in slavery and teaching him how to molest kids. So we can't rely on him. And those of the black women who want to keep relying on him, then that's up to them. They've had their chance to lead and turn things around, and they're not doing it. They don't care to do it. It's all rhetoric. So take charge of your womb. Take charge of your life. Don't let anyone use you as a sperm dump station with their disgusting sperm that does not need to see the day of life in reproduction. Guard yourself, guard your life, guard your womb, and stop producing these lifeless beings that have no sense and no purpose but to cause havoc and wreak havoc all over the community. Now, if anyone has seen the Black Lives Matter protests for the Chicago violence that took place last weekend, somebody please send me that link, because I'm still looking for it. 10 lives lost. Not a single protest. Well, they're gonna protest. They have to look and see the problem that is right in their community that nobody's doing crap about. The hypocrisy of it all. Protect yourselves. Protect your girls. You're on your own, black woman. You are on your own. The only allies we have are those who we've been taught not to look at as allies through our lives. And those are non-black people. And we've probably been taught not to look at them as allies to keep us within the community so we can keep getting used and abused and repeating the cycle this nonsensical cycle keeping you down mentally. And then with that, physically and emotionally, psychologically. So you don't go anywhere. You don't think you're worthy of having someone take care of you. You don't think you're worthy of saying, no, I'm waiting until I get married. No, thank you. I'm not interested. You don't think you're worthy of someone putting a ring on your finger and saying, yes, I value you enough to take care of you and the life that you produce for me. They don't need to give you your value. You don't need to know they don't need to tell you anything. You need to figure out your value. Your value. What are you worth? Because until you figure that out, we're going to continue the same cycle. And what I cannot stand is seeing young girls, little 16, 17-year-old young girls, pregnant with kids. Now, I know some of these young girls do it because they get the free apartment. And they're probably trying to get away from whatever they're getting away from in that house. And if they get pregnant, they can get a free apartment. But then with that free apartment comes, I'm pretty sure, a black man is going to attach himself to that woman in that free apartment and give her some more kids. Now, we don't need to be listening to any of these black people and talking about, oh, the white man keeping us down. We can't trust whitey. The white man has taken care of you and your kids when the black man has told you you are nothing. You're not worth his time. You're not worth the commitment. You're not worth anything except to pump and dump. So have black love for self, meaning yourself. When you look in that mirror, that's the black person you should be loving. You love yourself first. You think about yourself first and know your value.